Hello, everyone. I just thought I'd put together a quick video on a couple of tips when you're making a FrankenBox. And what a FrankenBox is when you take two boxes and you put them together to make one box. Seems like every time I've sold something lately, it's always been an odd size. So when I've got something today that's at least 14 inches, which is a common length, and I think it's 6 or 8 inches tall. So I don't have a 14-inch box available. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take two Priority Mail 07 boxes, which are 12 by 12 by 8, and I'm going to put them together up and down so that I have a box that'll be at least 14 inches tall, and then it'll be 12 by 12 on the other dimensions. So here's the tip I wanted to give you. First of all, this is going to be what's called the receiving box. So what you want to do on the receiving box is to go ahead and get the bottom affixed, so that's stable. Then what I like to do is on one of the boxes, in this case I'm doing it on the receiving box, instead of having these flaps here square like they come, I just cut a little angle cut here on the edges. Now, I did like a looping. You can just come in at an angle. You can use a scissors or a box cutter. You start at the lower corner and then go in so that when the top box comes over, it slides onto there. If you leave that square like that, it's much harder to put the top box onto the receiving box. Now, the other thing is, where you're going to have the problem is where these two boxes come together, right here on the corners, okay? That's the part you have to be really careful, because if you just go ahead and jam it down, what will happen a lot of times, first of all, it'll often get stuck, but what can also happen is these edges here can tear the receiving box on the edge, which you don't want to happen. So what you do is you take a piece of tape, in this case I just used some eBay tape, but you can use any type of packing tape, and you put it over that seam right there. Now I should have started a little higher, and then extend it down the box so that as it slides down, it slides easier on this cardboard as well. Okay, and then what you do is you take the receiving box. You do not affix the end on this box yet. You can fold it if you want closed, but do not tape it shut, because what you want to do is adjust up and down to the desired length of the item that you're packing. So go ahead, you pack the item, you put it in here in the direction that you want it to go, and then you take the top box and then you slide it over as such, and keep sliding down. If you close one of the flaps, you'll know how far. Slide it down, and then just tape over the exterior wherever you end up, and that'll make a nice solid box. Measure it, weigh it, and away you go. Now, one other tip I want to give you. I've been ordering a lot of stuff online. I'm sure most of you have as well. Save those boxes and packing materials that you get. Even if it's a dimension you may not use, save it for later, assuming you have the room to save it in a spot, and then you have the box. Now, if you don't have a lot of storage space, every box, or just about every box, is going to have a seam. Go ahead and cut at that seam, and this will lay flat then, and then it's much easier to store. You can store it under a bed or in a closet or whatever. So hope that helps. Two handy tips when making a FrankenBox or combining two boxes together.